fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be formed with former cruiserweight world champion. We are here. We just concluded the weigh-ins for Mikael Lawal versus Isaac Chamberlain, a massive, big British title grudge match. How are we feeling going into this one? A big fight, and it deserves to be its own main event.
Yeah, without a doubt. I always thought when this fight was originally on the undercard of Buatsi and Azeez, I thought that's a wicked fight through and through. These two guys are no longer the backing dancers; they're front of house. They're the main attraction, and it's been moved to an iconic venue of the York Hall. Anybody that knows boxing here in the UK, York Hall is an amazing place, and it'll be ram-packed because they gave 7,500 tickets were sold for the O2. So half of these fans, at least. We'll make sure they're there, and that means that your call is going to be absolutely banging for such a fight with two contrasting characters. One can cause trouble in an empty room. One's been cool as ice, been very quiet, and I thought he's been roasted left, right, and centre. But today told me that Lawal actually enjoys this kind of calm, this kind of chaos. He finds calm through chaos, and today told me that he's avoided having to be upfront and personal with Isaac until this week because he's had to do it, especially now they're thrusted into the front of house. But I actually thought this is his calm in life, not just in boxing. So and I don't know what his domestic setup is away from here, but I'll tell you one thing: he's one of the few fighters that this is his happy place. And Isaac kind of realised that, thought, no matter what I'm saying to this guy, everything I'm dropping is not working. So now it's going to get down to what? The fighting itself. I'll always side with the boxer over the puncher. Lawal is unbeaten in 17 fights, can bang, heavy-handed, we know that. Isaac got the experience of being a sparring partner for the best in the world. He's lost twice to Okolie and Smith. And so when it's countered, he hasn't won. He needs to now step out of the darkness into the light and say, right, I'm first. It's my turn now to be the winner and accept being a winner, don't expect to put up a good fight. That's how I see it going. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both fighters, but it's intriguing nevertheless.
I did want to touch on something you said there about the calmness and the chaos for Mikael Lawal. His life has been chaotic. He's had a crazy life. His story is incredible. So do you feel like sort of with his mentality now that there's not a lot that he hasn't seen? So when it comes to fighting Isaac Chamberlain, there's nothing that really fears him.
Totally, and that's what I'm saying. I saw it when he got on the scales. When he walked in, and I looked in. When he walked in, his expression's not changed. He's been pretty cool. Probably a few weeks ago when this is announced, he was a little rattled, so probably hijacked, ambushed by Isaac. But then since then, it looks like he's got his business in order. I thought, no, you know what? This is who I am. So I think, yes, he's seen it all. I think, yes, he knows exactly what to do, what not to do. And I think, yes, he's very comfortable with the whole situation.
We'll get into another situation that happened this week. Tuesday, we dealt with the news that Dan Azeez has got a back injury. He was out of this fight on Saturday night. Does it show a testament to the hard working at Boxer and Sky? They've made so the turnaround's been incredible. Never really seen before.
The turnaround's ridiculous. And remember this, Dan went on to Talk Sport yesterday. When you're doing any kind of skullduggery, you slip away. You don't want to speak to anybody for weeks on end. You want to talk sport, which they don't give you an easy ride. And he fought his corner, fought his fight in regards to the conspiracy theories that have been spread left, right, and centre. Anybody that knows Dan knows he ain't that kind of guy. Remember this young man? He boxed in Italy with no TV. Nobody knew he was fighting out there. He wants to fight. He's old school. Yes, you've got one or two fighters that are happily, you can give him a little something just to step out of a fight or whatever, but for no way on earth is he the kind of guy that steps out of a fight unless he has to. Yes, the injury was announced this week, but what makes you think it happened this week? You might have been thinking, you know what, I'm going to see if I can stick it out. He got to the point where I can't fight. I remember when I should have boxed Matt Cronelli, I snapped my patella tendon. I was laid in a hospital bed. I'm reading all over social media that, or whatever it was, that Nelson's pulled out, he's bottled it. I'm like, I'm in the bed, man. So I actually feel for Dan. And so all those conspiracy theories, I think the foolishness, then you go, like Savedia saying, I've heard it might finish, it might not happen, that was 3 weeks ago. Someone said to me today, even a blind squirrel find a knot. and it was just a lucky shot in the dark. You know, I'm quite sure you can find many times that's been said with other fights. You know, so please don't make a big something of that. And if you know Dan, respect him. Don't disrespect and say he's that kind of fighter, because he ain't that kind of fighter. You know, stop listening to the noise and the foolishness. Use common sense.
With you saying that as well, Frank Smith obviously came out and said that Boxer have sold 1,500 tickets and they pulled it. And
7,500 tickets.
Yeah, so I was saying that. So then Boxer came out and said, you know, said the figure 10,000 was another figure that was mentioned.
7,500 tickets. It took 7,500 tickets to sold. And so I could say whatever I want, you know, and it doesn't mean it's the truth. The truth is, find out for yourself. Do your research, find out for yourself. What I'm saying is stop listening to the noise, listen to fact. And stop listening to people saying, listen to me, not your lying eyes. You know, this is what they're doing. This is what's being done. When people tell you stuff, you know, they're putting it in your brain so you spread it like wildfire. Use common sense. But you've got to remember why we're at this situation here. And again, you're missing the point. Dan is not the kind of fighter that's going to take the blame and take the heat for this fight happening. Because they come out and said, yo, no tickets were sold and I was told to pull out the fight. Dan is not that fighter. Respect the fighter, respect the hard work he's done in, respect how he's got you in the first place. And this is where, no matter what he said around it, look at the individual you're talking about that's had to make the announcement and pull out the fight. And then ask yourself, is he that guy? He isn't. There are fighters that would do that. He's not one of those guys.
Just to be clear, I'm not making any accusations. I'm just further relaying. I'm further relaying what they're saying.
Be clear and remember, and I've said it earlier on, NBC, and it's been lost in the woodworking. NBC have done a conjunction with Boxer and Sky to do this. So Peacock, who work friends, who are joined to NBC, they have got a subscription of 25 million people. They are showing this in America. And NBC will pick up what they want out of that and put it on their main platform. So if you've got 25 million people in America watching this, all of a sudden these fighters that are on there, they've got a bigger audience to be spotted, to be captured. Why would you consider not fighting? Because they're still filming. They're still filming the show. So now Isaac Chamberlain and Lawal are now in a position to say, you know what, I might stand out here. I might get spotted here. You don't realise how much of a big deal it is for fighters actually being on such a platform. It's getting lost and people just don't get it. And so I just think it makes me smile, and I can laugh and joke and play with it as much as I want when people are really gassed with one little comment or one little insinuation that's said. All I say to you is look at the individual you're talking about. As in Dan Azeez, he is not that kind of guy. You can't be bought off. He can't be pushed to the side. He can't be cajoled into doing himself. He's a hard-working, honest fighter. Respect him. Don't get carried away with his foolishness.
And where you see the comments that for Team Matchroom make a lot of comments towards Boxer, and they have a lot of antagonisation. But what do you make of sort of those sorts of antagonisation? Because it's been happening for a long time now.
It's schoolyard stuff. It's business. That's what you do. Anybody does it in business. That's what you do. You know, you do it in any sport, you try and rattle the other one. That's business. As long as you understand what the business is, then it's just one of those things. It's how you react. I think Ben has done the right thing and kept his mouth shut. I think Ben has done the right thing. I think Ben, he'd be smart to say, you know what, if you want to interview me, come meet me once a month. And then if you don't want to talk to me in between that time, don't ask me no questions. Because Ben is not Eddie. Eddie's the sharpest, smartest tool in the box, where his mouth is fast, it's sharp. You can drop anything on him, he'll talk himself out of a bullet coming his way. He's brilliant at it. Ben didn't get that guy. And so therefore, understand who you are, understand your value, understand your strengths, and say, you know what, let's sit down in a controlled environment. Let's sit down and chat there. So this is why Ben is happy to sit back and say, I ain't saying nothing. You know, do it my way. Respect it.
Do you feel like, though, that sometimes the best way to deal with aggression is bring it back?
Depends on what situation you're in. And I think the calmest head, Harold Graham, a good old friend of mine, amazing fighter, said to me the best fighters are the calmest fighters. You know, African chieftains, they're the calm ones that stand back, they watch, look and assess, and then do what they've got to do. That's how you deal with any conflict. Be smart, be sharp, you just use your intelligence over emotion, because emotions will make you make the wrong decision at the wrong time.
We'll move on to boxing topics. Tyson Fury takes on Francis Ngannou next week with an Oleksandr Usyk fight waiting in the wings. In your opinion, when do you think we'll realistically see this Oleksandr Usyk fight? Do you feel like it'll be December? Do you feel like it'll be January, end of Riyadh season?
That's far too close. I don't think it'll be that close. I think, you know, both fighters said, yeah, we've agreed to fight until we get a date, until we get a venue. Let's not make the same mistake we've done over and over and over and over and over and over again with Tyson Fury. So let's wait. The devil's in the detail. So when we've got a date, we've got a venue, then we can get silly. until then, just wait.
I know you've been previously sceptical about it. Now you feel that the legally binding, the only thing that would stop it now would be Usyk or Fury retiring. Do you feel like this will definitely 100% happen?
No, I don't. Because what? So what's the problem? We've agreed to fight. When? It's a case of, okay, we've got to see that there's no injuries next week, or we're going to try and get maximum exposure because we're going to play everybody left, right, centre to fly out to watch him fight, to make it look a bigger deal, a big deal, and then make the announcement. Then if you're making an announcement, then I understand the business side of it, why you're going to do it. But you're going to pay for all these people to come out and watch you fight. You're going to lift it up. I understand what's happening. So let's just wait and see. So no, I'm not going to get excited and say, yes, it's a done deal, it's on. Nothing's on until we know where it is and when it is.
Johnny Nelson, thank you for taking time to speak to me. I appreciate it. No, yeah, I'm sure we'll be catching up with you soon, mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Top man. Thank you.